Hello course participants, the course name is Fundamentals of Environmental Regulation and Expertise. Today I am going to show you the topic number 8 about pressure and the stages of environmental impact assessment. And our lecture plan for us at first the pressure and the stages for the environmental impact assessment, stages of the environmental impact assessment, and detailed expose analysis and forecast of environmental situation. What is environmental impact assessment? It's a systematical process to evaluate potential environmental, social, and economic effects of a proposed project before it begins. Next, ensures decision makers consider environmental consequences to promote sustainable development and prevent harm. Organized in the 1960s, now mandatory for many large-scale projects worldwide. Overviews of the environmental impact assessments procedure consists screening, scoping, impact assessment, reporting, review decision, and monitoring. What is the monitoring? In environmental impact assessment, monitoring ensure mitigate measures are implemented and effective. Screening decide if an environmental impact assessment is needed basis in project size, project location, and the potential impact. And the scoping define key environmental issues and the boundaries of the assessment. Impact assessment analyze potential effects and propose mitigation strategies, and the reporting compile finding into the environmental impact assessments. Authorities and the public review the report decision made. And in our lecture, stage number 1, screening. The gateway process. Screening is a gateway process, determines whether and the project requires in full environmental impact assessment based on established criteria. And screening saves time and resource by filtering out low impact projects whilst ensuring comprehensive assessment for higher risk developments. And next, usual frameworks and environmental criteria specific to each country's regulatory system. And a practical example for us, a proposed power plant near a protected wetland atmosphere automatically triggers mandatory environmental impact assessment requirements due to first, proximity to sensitive habitat, next, scale of potential impacts, and the next, regulatory thresholds. And the next stage is scoping. Scoping includes issue identification, boundary setting, and stakeholder engagement. Issue identification identifies the most significant environmental, social, and economic issues requiring detailed study. Stakeholder engagement involves consultation with expert stakeholders and the public to gather diverse perspectives. And the boundary setting established assessment boundaries and methodological approaches for the study. For highway projects, key scoping issues might include air quality impact, noise pollution effects, disruption to wildlife corridors, and the community displacement concerns. And in this picture you can see stage number 3. Stage number 3, it's one of the important stage in the environmental impact assessment, and it's a detailed explores, analyze, and impact assessment. And this stage consists of 3 steps: baseline data collection, advanced modeling, and mitigation planning. Baseline data collection, comprehensive gathering of environmental data covering air quality, water resources, land resources, soil condition, biodiversity, and social economic factors. Next, advanced modeling utilizes geographic information system, GIS, and predictive modeling for forecasting potential environmental impacts. And next is mitigation planning. Mitigation planning is develop strategies to avoid, reduce, or compensate for negative impacts while this assessing magnitude and significance. And next stage in our lecture, it's a stage about analysis and forecast of the environmental situation. And the environmental situation for analyze and forecast include predictive environmental modeling, forecasting how to environmental will change both with and without the proposed project implementation, and considers cumulative effects from multiple projects and long-term environmental changes are decided. Supports environmental decision making by illustrating various future scenarios and their potential consequences. Case study, for example, predicting how construction runoff from a new development might affect downstream wetland ecosystems over an 8 to 10 years period, including, for example, water quality changes and habitat description. And next stage, it's reporting at the public consultation. Environmental impact statement, comprehensive documentation of all finding, analysis, and proposed mitigation plans, regulatory review, submission to regulatory authorities for technical and legal assessment. And the public engagement, it's a stakeholder consultation, provide valuable feedback and address community concerns. And next stage, it's stage number 6 about decision making and monitoring. This stage consists regulatory decision, implementation monitoring, and adaptive management. Regulatory decision, authorities approve, reject, and requires modification based on comprehensive environmental impact assessment, finding, and public input. Implementation monitoring, continuous monitoring ensure compliance with mitigation measures during construction and operation phases. And adaptive management allows adjustment and corrective action if unforeseen environmental impact arise during project life cycle. And conclusion of our lecture: why environmental impact assessment matters. There are environmental protection, sustainable balance, risk prevention, and community empowerment. Environmental impact assessment represent an essential framework for responsible, informed decision making that balances economic development with environmental stewardship, and in our current world, and for risk prevention, prevents costly delays and the legal challenges by identifying and addressing risk early in the planning process. And in this picture you can see the conclusion of our lecture, and today our lecture is finished. Thank you for your attention.